Hello there, welcome back to the vlog. Today I just wanted to share something that I really struggled with my first year of teaching, and I wanted to share this with you so that you don't make the same mistake that I made if you're going into your first year, or even if you're a veteran teacher. Sometimes we just need a reminder. And yeah, so let's get started. The thing that I wanted to share with you today is I was so inconsistent my first year of teaching. I got caught up in trying to try every strategy out there. I switched my behavior management plan. I can't even tell you how many times. And the problem was the students didn't know what to expect. They never knew what to expect from me. One day I would have one behavior plan, the next day I would try something else. And as you can probably imagine, it didn't go too well. And the big thing about it is it's classroom management, and having a great school year really comes down to really two things: being consistent and being fair. And if your students need to see your classroom, your rules and your procedures, they need to see them as being fair. So this is year 6 for me, and something that I did not do my first year, but I am doing now, is it's giving my students the rules at the beginning of the year, not having all the rules laid out already, having very broad rules like be kind and, follow directions, and then we break those down further and we talk about what that looks like, sounds like, and feels like. We do like a little poster where we talk about what would a star student do, and I think it's very valuable to do that so the students see, like, yeah, would it be a good idea to run around in the classroom? Why not? You could get hurt. So they get to see that these rules aren't being made, these aren't just some arbitrary rules just because I want to have these rules. They see that rules are made to keep them safe and to help them learn, and that's the only reason we have rules in school, is to keep the kids safe and to help them learn. And when you make the rules together, or, well, you don't make them together, you already have like a set of rules in your mind, but when you talk about the rules together and talk about the impact that they have, and you talk about what it looks like, and you talk about why, like, I was always so curious as a kid. I wanted to know why. So just tell them why. Why can't we run in the classroom? Why do we have to be quiet in the hallway? Why can't we talk when the teacher's talking? Simple things like that, and then they'll see those actions, they'll see those rules as fair. And then to follow up with that, you talk about to the students, well, what should we do as a class? Like, what should we do if there's a student who is breaking those rules and who is not doing the right thing? What should happen? And then you sort of talk about it together. You talk about how, okay, well, if a student is breaking the rules, the first thing that should happen is they should be reminded that they're breaking a rule. Like, hey, we're not supposed to run in the classroom. Can you try that again and walk this time? Just a quick, simple, hey, you're breaking the rule. That lets the students know that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be snappy. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're in trouble right away. It's a reminder first, and they see that as being fair. But no matter what age level, they're going to see that as being fair. If they know if they mess up, they're going to get a quick reminder that they've broken one of the agreed upon rules. And then we break it down even farther. Okay, what happens if a student's just really having an off day, a bad day, and they keep breaking the same rule and the same rule? And then we just talk about what happens next. And that's when you incorporate your clip chart or your whatever, your flip chart or your dojo points or whatever you're using. But the important thing is that you let students know, look, if you run in the classroom and you've been given a reminder and you keep running in the classroom, the same thing is going to happen every time. You're going to receive the same consequence. And if Billy does it, he's going to get the same consequence as if Cindy does it. It doesn't matter who you are. If you run in the classroom, it's going to be the same thing every time, every day. And once the students start to see that that's the way it's going to be, you're going to start to see your students sort of just all come together, and they're all going to just kind of drink the Kool-Aid, if you will. They're all just going to try to be on board with that, because they don't, it's harder to be the kid causing trouble when everybody else is doing it right. Like, it's when you start to see classrooms fall apart and you start to see a lot of misbehavior, is when little pockets of subgroups and pockets of kids start misbehaving, and they think it's funny and they think it's cool. A lot of times that happens from inconsistency from us, the teacher, because they feel like they don't know what's going to happen. So I can probably get away with this today, but I can get away with this today. I got away with it yesterday, but tomorrow I might not get away with it. So it creates this level of anxiety when you're not consistent, and it creates this level of, I don't know, maybe I can get away with it today. and that's just not a good environment to be a part of. So right off the bat, day one, minute one, you are setting your expectations, and you are making sure that you are being fair and consistent. And it all just comes down to your mindset. Like I said, it was very impactful and powerful for me to sit down with my students and really talk about why behind everything. I did that last year, and it had a lot more impact than just telling the students, these are the rules, this is what happens when you break them. We had a dialogue about it. Even though I had an answer in my mind that I was trying to get them to, like I wanted them to say, we don't run the hallway because you get hurt and there should be a consequence. I wanted to direct them to a certain outcome. They still felt as though they were part of the conversation, and then you can always refer back to that time. You can say, well, remember the first day of school when we talked about why we shouldn't run, and then it's harder to misbehave when it's harder to misbehave on purpose when not only do you know the rules, everybody else knows the rules and everyone's following them, and you've already discussed the rules and why they're fair. It makes it so much more of a positive environment and a positive classroom that it's silly not to do it. So take that time, your first day, your second day, your third day, whatever days you gotta do, take that time, sit down with your class, talk to them about all the expectations, make it fun if you want to. A quick fun way to make talking about the rules and routines fun is to do role play. Pick students as volunteers, have them act out certain scenarios, and students really like it if you yourself, the teacher, are the student who's acting up. And you can show them how ridiculous it looks to cut somebody in line or to run through the classroom. And they can see the misbehavior, and then we can correct it. And then it's important that you leave the last scenario to be the scenario that everybody did it right. Because you want that last image to be what we did right. And it's important to talk about what could possibly happen, not as a consequence for their behavior, but what could happen if they break a rule to them, for safety reasons, and then how can they be hurting their learning or their neighbors' learning. So it might take a while, but once they start connecting those dots, they'll really see why there's rules, and they'll be more willing to follow them. So, this is a short vlog today, but I really just wanted to share this with you. I know a lot of teachers are getting ready for the school year, going in their classroom, getting stuff set out. I'm just going to try and do videos like this every once in a while the rest of the summer. Things that I failed at my first year. Thanks for watching. Find a gift, share it with the world, and remember, you are worth it. See you tomorrow.